What's going on, guys? My name is Nick Abraham, and between Leadbird and Cleverly, we send over 4 million cold emails, 100 LinkedIn emails, and do over 75,000 cold calls every single month for over 1,000 B2B clients. And today, I'm going to break down a simple playbook that we recommend to a lot of our clients to help build leads, set appointments, and build some predictable lead flow. It's called the Partnership Campaigns. It's basically building a referral network with outbound. But I want to preface some stuff. This is not your first campaign, and this is not some high volume outbound that you have in the background, and this is not instant pipeline. So like if you're not setting 10 to 20 calls a week right now, this is not the campaign I would focus on, right? Because it's going to give you that instant gratification that doesn't actually deliver results for you. And the results that you're looking for is people that are actually wanting to pay you for your services. But this should run in the background. It does compound, and it requires relationship building. But when it works, it can send you an extremely high quality amount of deal flow your way. When this makes sense, you have a high ticket offer, you have an offer that's hard to cold pitch, your ICP is well defined, and maybe your margins even allow some rev sharing of some sort. So we see a lot of like loan brokers, agency owners, tax strategists all kind of use this idea and angle. The core idea is instead of like actually hitting your ICP directly, you find people that already serve your ICP from a different angle. So you're not really selling, you're kind of like building a channel. My favorite example that I like to use is like a loan broker. There's thousands of loan brokers, and there's really nothing that makes any of the loan brokers different from each other outside of like the percentage that they charge on interest. And that amount is going to be different by like 0.0001%. So it's like they're all the same at the end of the day. And so when you pitch a loan service, right, where you're like, hey, I can get you access to capital in under 24 hours, they're getting that same pitch 100 other times. And there's nothing that really separates them. So it's really hard to convert at that at scale. That's why you'll find that everybody that does anything in the lead gen side for loan brokers, their entire game is just volume. And so we actually worked with a loan broker. What we told him was like, hey, let's build you a partnership angle with CPAs, tax advisors, fractional CFOs, bookkeepers, and financial consultants, because they are in the books and the weeds of their clients' businesses. And they probably have a lot of clients themselves that need access to capital or may at some point need access to capital. And so you can align incentives. This doesn't just apply to loan brokers, it applies for pretty much everyone. So like even for us, like as a cold email agency owner, I can reach out to CRMs and be like, yo, you got CRM for your customer. Your customers needs leads to go to CRM. And so you probably need someone like me to help generate the leads for them so that they stick around and get the most use out of your CRM. There's infinite angles you can conjure up and think through with this. When it comes to building the list, keep it super simple. What I recommend is using a tool like Discolike because it can find lookalikes really quickly. You put in the really strong example of an adjacent provider in there. It's going to go find a whole bunch of companies that are similar to them. And then you could just use Clay to find the people, and then, use Clay to enrich for the emails and phone numbers and everything else. And then in terms of the actual structure of the email, I just make it super straightforward and super like much of a no-brainer. So just like, hey, first name, saw that you work with ICP from this side. We say serve the same market, but from a different angle. And then you just come with your value prop so they know you're legit. Curious if there's an opportunity to build some kind of referral partnership here. Open a quick call next week. That's it. And you'll find naturally your reply rate will be super high. Some partners, they're going to want a two-way referral side, right? So they're going to pass you deals. You're going to have to pass them deals. Others just want to resell your product or have some kind of revenue share there. So you kind of have to think beforehand of the deal structures that you can offer. And that's what's going to make this relationship stuff easier. The thing to keep in mind though is I find a lot of people will love this. They'll send the 20 emails, they get on 3 calls, and then it just doesn't go anywhere, right? So you need structure, you need a back-end mechanism to make sure you get the most use out of this. And the key thing here is you're just reaching out to your referral network and your partners like monthly and trying to see if they have any new deals and anything to send you. And you just want to stay top of mind. So like you could do this in your CRM, you could do this however you want, but just like have a list somewhere of your partnership prospects. And this is after, they've agreed to be a referral partner, right? And just check in with them every 30 days, either show case studies, show something that you've done, maybe a new offer, whatever it is, to see if they could send you deal flow. And then just keep track of like actually who's sending you referrals, how often and how good those leads actually are and how those conversations have been going and everything of that sort. But once again, like when it comes to expectation setting, like this is lumpy. Some months you may get a partner that sends you a ton of deals. The other month, you may hear nothing. So this is not the first type of outbound campaign that I recommend to people. This is something I recommend when you already have lead flow pretty much covered and you're just looking to tap into additional pockets to feed you. And with channel structure, I don't really recommend anything outside of just doing email, just because you can scale that really easily and you will not have an issue with booking enough calls because the reply rates will just naturally be higher. It's not threatening. It's a win-win. It's no-brainer. It's collaboration. So it's easy to do. But once again, in the long term, the only way you'll see these partnership campaigns really be successful is if you actually have a back-end mechanism to check in with them, nurture them, and actually get them to push deal flow your way. So if you have already cracked outbound and you want to get something like this really set up, this is one of the playbooks that we could implement at Leadbird, plus a dozen others that we run every day for over 1,000 baby clients. So if you're interested in that, feel free to book a call with us at leadbird.io. We'll see if it's fit. And if you just want a blueprint like this with the tech stack that we use, the targeting strategy, and everything else, there's a simple opt-in below. You can download it and steal everything.